but these Yetis used to be wrestlers, and so now they're living kind of a Zen life. They're like monks. So, but they still talk and they act like wrestlers. And so we had to capture that. When you go up and you talk to a character, they have this like dialogue, right, where they say something to you, and they're supposed to act it out. And so we made this this wrestler guy act like he's a Yeti, but he acts like a wrestler, and so he has these like real bold moves, but he's also a monk, so he has these Zen moves. Now, the way that this is done is actually pretty simple. Get my mouse over here. You basically say, okay, I want this character to be in this pose at this time. So along the bottom here, you've got this timeline. These represent frames, or you could say seconds in your animation. And so you say, okay, well, I want this guy, he's standing like this. Now I want him to have a different pose like this, right? And so you take the character, and inside the character are these things we call bones, which are essentially like inside your body, you've got bones. Bones and muscles move you around. And just like that, you've got these bones and they move it around. And you can set keys. So you say you turn on when it's red, you set a key. So I can move the arm in like this. I can move the other arm in like this. And then I can do things like close his eyes. And I can open his mouth. And then, like I said before, like if you were drawing this, you would have to draw all the frames in between those poses. But in the computer, it fills in. So it fills in all the space in between. So this guy now, he moves just like that, just from setting two poses. So he's here, and the computer takes care of all the stuff in between. The art comes in figuring out, okay, if I'm gonna move, what do I need to do? What poses do I need to hit? Now, do you guys play basketball? Anyone here play basketball? All right, I play basketball a lot too. And one of the things I love about basketball is the athleticism that you need. And if you think about, let's say, LeBron James, right? Or Zion Williamson, dunking, it's like, how the heck does he get like 1.5 feet above the rim? And so you think about all of the motion that goes into him exploding out of that like squat pose into that extension pose and then bringing that down. That's like 3 big poses. So if you were drawing like a comic book or something, you would draw him squatting down, you draw him above the rim like this, and then you draw him like crashing down. It's no different in the computer when you're doing animation. All you need to think about is when you're watching somebody, it's like, okay, how are they posing? What are those big actions that they're doing? And then the art comes in just doing it over and over and over again and figuring out how people move. And the only way to do that is just to observe. So when you guys are around, like when I'm at the airport or something, when I'm stuck waiting for a flight, I just sit there and I watch people move. How do they walk? How do they sit down? How do they talk? Things like that. So it's just about observation. And the rest is just learning the craft. Now, do you guys like art? Do you guys like to do any art?
He does.
All right, good stuff, man. Keep on it. It's important to remember that you're in this really nice studio here, and you got all these like fancy computers and fancy lights and stuff, but you can get a $300 laptop and you can do all of the stuff that you're doing here. It might not be as fast, you might not be able to do as much, but if you want to get started in it, that's something that you can do. And that applies to almost any of the things that you see going on in this place. We're in such a place now in society where we've got technology, it's so cheap. You can get in, you can do things that